My beloved child, take a deep breath and let your heart become still. For I am nearer to you than you think. I want to speak to you about the place you call home, about the space you return to each day, the place that should lift you up and soothe every weariness within you. I do not come to make you anxious or suspicious of what is around you, but to help you look again at that dwelling through the light of peace and truth. I do not come to make you afraid of the walls around you, nor do I want you to look at your home with eyes of suspicion and unrest. I come to remind you that the place where you live is not only a place to put your belongings, not only a place where you close the door after a long day, but also a portion of ground entrusted to you to guard with wisdom, prayer, order, and love. If in this past season you have felt the atmosphere in your home grow heavy, if your heart becomes more tense when you enter it, if your rest is no longer deep, if conversations have become sharper, if the peace that once existed seems covered by an invisible layer of weariness, then do not rush into panic. Stop, look carefully, and invite me into every room with the honesty of your heart. I know there are things you have ignored because you thought you were being too sensitive. You told yourself that perhaps it was only work pressure, only tiredness, only a difficult season, only a few days when your heart felt unsettled. And it is true that many times heaviness comes from very ordinary burdens, lack of sleep, financial worries, words that have not been reconciled, piled up belongings, a disordered rhythm of life, tensions carried in from outside and placed inside the home. But my child, whatever the source may be, I still want to help you restore peace. I do not make light of the small things that unsettle your heart. I do not overlook your sigh when you cross the threshold and no longer feel rested. I created you to need a refuge, a place where the mind can breathe, a place where love is practiced, a place where light can remain. Remember that peace is not naturally preserved if you do not care for it. A home may look beautiful outwardly, yet still be disordered within if bitter words are repeated too often. If silence becomes a wall, if anxiety is not brought into the light, if unhealthy things are continually allowed to remain in daily habits, I do not say this to condemn you, but to invite you to become a watchful steward of the space I have entrusted to you. There are things that need to be cleared from the home. Not only dust from tables and chairs, but also voices that make you despair, images that cloud your heart, conversations that only sow more irritation, and old memories that keep being fed by bitterness. When you clean your home in the light, you are not only arranging objects, you are opening the way for peace to return. Remember the story of Jacob when he left Laban's house and returned through a journey full of upheaval. Before reaching Bethel, he told his household to put away the things that no longer belonged to holiness, to purify themselves, and to prepare to meet me in the place where I had once touched him. That was not only an outward change, but a reordering of the inner life. Jacob understood that there are seasons when, in order to enter a deeper presence, one cannot carry everything from the old season. In the same way, my child, there are times when I call you to look again at your home, not so you will be afraid, but so you will ask, what in this place is nourishing peace? And what is wearing peace down? What helps you remember me? And what draws you away from purity? What needs to remain? What needs to be released? And what needs to be healed through an apology, through forgiveness, through an honest conversation? I want your home to become a place where my presence is welcomed. But that presence does not dwell in chaos that is deliberately nourished. I can enter every broken place, but I also teach you to cooperate with grace through specific choices. Open the door for morning light to come in. Let dark corners be cleaned. Turn down the sounds that disturb your heart. Speak words that give life instead of words that wound. Pray in each room, not as a fearful ritual, but as a loving invitation. Father, please place your peace here. Let the table be not only a place of haste, but a place of gratitude. Let the bedroom be not only where the body lies down, but where your heart learns to release its burdens. Let the doorway become a holy boundary, where you decide what is allowed to enter your mind, your words, and the rhythm of your life. If there is tension in your home among those who live together, I invite you not to let it smolder like coals beneath ashes. Not every battle needs a loud voice, but every crack needs light. Learn to speak truth without causing harm, to listen without becoming defensive, to set boundaries without bitterness, to apologize without lowering your worth. There are heavy atmospheres that do not come from anything mysterious, but from words that were not spoken at the right time, wounds that were not named, expectations that were not shared, and weariness that has been piled upon weariness over time. I am the God of reconciliation. But reconciliation does not mean you must accept everything that harms you. True peace always walks with truth, respect, and order. My beloved child, I do not want you to see every uneasiness as a darkness lying in wait. I want you to recognize that sometimes uneasiness is an invitation to return to me, to return to a healthy rhythm of life, to return to caring for your home, caring for your body, caring for relationships, and caring for the quiet habits that shape the atmosphere around you. When you let your phone, screens, and noise fill every empty space, you may no longer hear what your heart needs. When you bring every outside pressure into the home without laying it down before me, the home gradually becomes a storehouse of anxiety instead of a place of rest. So practice entering your home with a small prayer. Practice saying, "Every burden that does not belong here, let it be laid down in my hands." Let every return home remind you that you do not have to carry the whole world on your shoulders. I also want you to remember that protection is not only being shielded from what is harmful, but also being taught how to live wisely. Check the practical things in your home: safety, health, cleanliness, electrical sources, locks, things that need repair, and places where you have delayed care. Do not separate faith from responsibility. I can preserve you, but I also give you the clarity to recognize what needs to be done. A person who trusts me is not one who ignores every sign. It is one who looks at the sign with peace and acts with wisdom. If there is something in your home that makes you uneasy, address it step by step. If there is a real danger, seek suitable help. If there is chaos in daily living, begin restoring order from the smallest thing. Let your home be cleansed through simple but enduring things: gentle words, pure music, gratitude, enough order, sincere conversations, quiet spaces that are not invaded, meals received as grace, and prayers that are not showy but steady. Do not think holiness is present only in great moments. Holiness can be found in the way you fold a blanket, open a window, wipe a table, turn off a noise, apologize to a loved one, choose not to answer in anger, and place a day back under my guidance. When small things are placed rightly, the home begins to breathe again. My child, I want the place where you live to become a witness that peace can be restored. Even if that home once held many tears, arguments, loneliness, or sleepless nights, I can still renew the atmosphere there. I can turn a room that once felt heavy into a place where you learn to pray. I can turn a corner that once stirred sadness into a place where you read, rest, breathe, and heal. I can turn a table that once sat in silence into a place where life-giving words are spoken. I can turn a door that once made you feel weary when you entered into a sign that you are returning to a place that is cared for. But build this with me, day by day, through small faithfulness. So do not fear your home, but do not neglect it either. Stand in that place as one entrusted by me with the authority to care for it. Ask for peace, then practice peace. Ask for protection, then live with watchfulness. Ask for my presence, then remove the things that draw your heart away from that presence. Remember that I am not far from your roof. I am in the prayer you whisper while washing dishes, in the breath you regain when you sit down after a long day, in the decision not to let anger rule, in the courage to open the window for light to enter, in your hands, clearing away the old to welcome the new. Be at peace, my beloved child. I do not come to announce disaster. I come to rebuild refuge. I do not come to sow suspicion in every corner of the house. I come to teach you to bring every corner into the light. I do not leave you alone among things you feel, but do not yet understand. I am with you, leading you to restore order, reminding you that your home can become a place of rest, healing, love, and a place where my presence is honored. Begin with something small today. Open your heart. Open the door to light. Lay down fear. Clear one disordered corner. Speak one kind word. Pray one honest prayer. Then you will see that peace does not only visit, it can remain, grow, and cover your home like a warm garment of mercy. My beloved child, before you fully understand what is happening around you, I want you to pause for a moment and listen to my voice. I know there are things that confuse your heart, feelings you cannot yet name, but I do not want you to continue ignoring them. There are things taking place under that roof that I do not want you to take lightly. I am not only speaking about outward actions, nor only about passing human mistakes. This is deeper. There are atmospheres, habits, old traces, and influences that have clung to that place before you realized it. There are words once sown in bitterness, pains that were buried, discord that was never healed, and they have left marks in the space where you live. I do not want you to look at everything with panic, but I want you to have discernment. Not every heaviness in a home comes from what natural eyes can see. There are places that have witnessed too much anger, fear, hurt, manipulation, or sorrow, and if they are not brought into the light, those things can continue to affect the hearts of those living there. I am opening your eyes, not so you will fear your home, but so you will understand that the atmosphere around you needs to be placed again under my peace, my purity, and my presence. You have recognized this through small signs. There are mornings when you wake still tired. Though your body has rested, there are times when you enter a familiar room and yet your heart feels uneasy without a clear reason. There are conversations in the home that have become more tense than before, words that collide more easily, small misunderstandings that quickly become arguments. There are moments when the place that once brought a sense of safety now feels heavy, cold, or unfamiliar. My child, I do not want you to ignore these things, but hear me carefully. I do not speak this so you will live in suspicion or obsession. I speak so you will become awake and pray. I speak so you will know that you have the authority to bring light into the place where you live. You do not have to accept chaos as normal. You do not have to live under a heavy atmosphere as though it were your destiny. You bear my name. You belong to me. And the place where you live also needs to be covered by my peace. There are things that do not belong to my spirit and should not continue to be nourished in your space. Bitterness should not have a seat there. Curses, insults, and voices that wound one another should not become familiar sounds under that roof. Fear should not be allowed to rule the rooms I want to fill with rest. Division should not be regarded as natural in the place where I want to build love, forgiveness, and order. I am calling you to reclaim the atmosphere in that home, not through panic, anger, or argument, but through my presence. Begin by inviting me into every room. Pray with a humble heart. Ask me to cleanse what does not belong to me. Let my word resound where fear once resounded. Let worship replace heaviness. Let forgiveness replace bitterness. Let my peace rise where chaos once occupied the space. If there are things in the home that need to be repaired, repair them with wisdom. If there are apologies that need to be spoken, speak them with tenderness. If boundaries need to be established, establish them in uprightness. If there are objects, habits, conversation, or connections that bring darkness into your space, allow me to show you what needs to be released. True cleansing is not only a prayer spoken aloud, but also a life reordered under the light. My child, I have been protecting you from things you could not see. There were times when I made your heart uneasy so you would not continue to ignore. There were times when I caused you to notice heaviness so you would not call it normal. There were times when I stirred you to pray, to clean, to make peace, to separate from what is toxic, or to restore boundaries, because I knew what was quietly growing if it remained unaddressed. Now I want you to listen before that tension sinks more deeply into your mind, your family, and your peace. Your home was not meant to become a place where fear dwells. It should be a place where light is welcomed. It should be a place where your soul rests, where love is nurtured, where words bring life, where my presence has a place to stand. I want to restore safety in that place. I want to soften the rooms that have become heavy. I want to heal the relationships that have been strained. I want to bring calm where there was uneasiness, clarity where there was chaos, and holiness where there were influences that did not belong to me. Therefore, rise in faith, but also in peace. Do not fear the darkness. Invite the light in. Do not focus more on what is wrong than on my power. Do not let your heart be pulled into obsession. Let your heart be anchored in truth. I am greater than every old influence, every old word, every old wound, and every atmosphere that once made your heart heavy. When I am present, darkness must withdraw. When I speak peace, the storm must become still. When I place my hand upon a home, that place can be made new. Begin today. Pray. Forgive where forgiveness is needed. Clean what needs to be cleaned. Open the door to my presence through your words, choices, and way of living. I will lead you step by step. I will show you what needs to change. I will restore the atmosphere in that home. So the place where you live will no longer be where you are drained, but where you are strengthened, healed, and covered by my peace. You think it is only a small matter, but the smallest cracks can become an entrance for what does not belong to my peace. My beloved child, I do not say this to make you panic, but to awaken you with wisdom. There are doors that do not open wide through a great event, but only crack open through something overlooked, an unresolved habit, an object you keep though your heart is uneasy, a conversation you allow to pull you into bitterness, or an anger you keep letting pass day after day without bringing it before me. You thought it was too small to deserve attention. But small things, when neglected, can become places where darkness takes root. That is why today I draw you near, not to condemn you, but to show you what I have quietly reminded you of many times within your heart. Unusual arguments, dreams that make you wake with a heavy heart, sudden financial tension, coldness creeping between people who once loved each other, suspicion appearing where there was once trust. Do not quickly call all of it coincidence. Not every difficulty comes from darkness, but you need to learn to discern when a pattern keeps repeating in order to exhaust you, distract you, and draw you away from peace. I have seen the way small things pile into a heavy burden. I have seen you try to explain it through reason, try to ignore it because you did not want to face it. Try to tell yourself that everything would eventually be fine. But my child, true peace does not come from closing your eyes to what needs to be corrected. True peace comes when you bring everything under my light. Today, I am lifting the veil so you can see more clearly the things that have quietly affected the atmosphere around you. There are things the enemy wants you to keep calling normal, because as long as you do not recognize them, you will not close that door. He does not need you to collapse immediately. He only needs you to become slowly tired, slowly distracted, slowly doubtful, slowly irritable, gradually losing prayer, gradually losing purity in your thoughts. But I will not leave you in obscurity. When I allow you to recognize something, it is because I am giving you the opportunity to return, to cleanse, to re-establish order, and to stand under my covering with a more watchful heart. Now that you have heard my voice, you do not need to fear what you know, You only need to respond with gentle obedience. You must take responsibility for the light I have placed in your hands. But that responsibility does not mean you must carry everything by yourself. I will help you if you allow me to help. I will show you what must be released, what must be repaired, what must be left, what must be brought into prayer, and what must be cleansed from your living environment. Do not run away from this warning as though it were a sentence of judgment. Run into my arms, because in my arms there is guidance, forgiveness, covering, and restoration. I do not come to shame you for having missed something. I come to give you clarity before something small becomes great harm. I come to place my hand upon your home, your thoughts, your relationships, and the rhythm of your life, so everything may return to the proper order of light. This is not only about a house. My child, this is about your covering. The place where you live is not merely four walls, a bed, a table, or a working corner. It is where you rest, where you think, where you recover after long days, where words are sown, where habits are formed, and where the atmosphere around you quietly affects how you see me, yourself, and the future. Therefore, your environment matters. What you allow to remain around you is not always harmless. The sounds you hear every day, the images you look at for too long, the conversations you allow to pull you into negativity, the things you keep out of regret, even though they always stir heaviness, all of these can contribute either to making your heart brighter or dimmer. I want you to learn to see your home as a place set apart for peace. Not a perfect place. Not a place where no one ever cries. Not a place where everyone always behaves rightly. But a place where light is invited in, where truth is honored, where chaos is not allowed to reign, where you know how to stop and say, "This is no longer allowed to remain in my atmosphere." Perhaps you need to clear a corner that has collected too much heaviness. Perhaps you need to stop a habit that unsettles your mind before sleep. Perhaps you need to set a boundary with someone who often brings conflict into your life. Perhaps you need to turn off the noise that draws your heart away from stillness. These actions are not small. They are the way you cooperate with me to protect the place where I want to establish your rest. If the enemy can pollute the environment around you, he will try to affect your thoughts. If your thoughts are pulled into chaos, you will easily lose focus on what I am calling you into. You will more easily react instead of discern, fear instead of trust, argue instead of keep peace, and speak heavy words instead of words that build. And when distraction continues, you may forget that you are very near a new season. This is why I am urgent with you, not because I want you to live suspicious of everything, but because I know you are closer to your next assignment than you realize. The steps ahead require a clear mind, a tender heart, a healthy environment, and quick obedience to my voice. The enemy knows when you are about to step into something new, so he often does not begin with a loud attack. He begins with small disorder, a little weariness that is not cared for, a little bitterness that is not released, a little clutter that steals your peace, a little delay that causes you to ignore what I instructed, a little curiosity that pulls you toward what is impure, a little pride that makes you refuse to apologize. But my beloved child, Small things can also be healed through small obedience. A sincere prayer, a decision to clean, a humble conversation, a boundary set rightly, a habit changed, a return to me before the day ends. You do not need to wait until everything collapses before you begin closing the wrong doors. I am giving you clarity to protect what is precious within you. Walk through your life with calmness, not fear. Ask me where light is needed. Listen when your heart feels uneasy about something specific. Examine what is nourishing you and what is draining you. Allow me to enter every room, every habit, every connection, every word, and everything you often consider small. When I touch something, do not resist because of regret. What I tell you to release is not meant to make you poorer. It is meant to make you freer. What I tell you to cleanse is not meant to take from you. It is meant to create room for peace to remain. Therefore, my child, rise with gentleness and resolve. Close the doors that do not belong to me. Invite my light to fill the place where you live, where you rest, where you think, and where you make decisions. Let peace return like clear water flowing through places that tension had dried out. I will not leave you alone in this. I will walk with you step by step, remind you of what needs attention, give you strength to change, and cover you when you choose obedience. You are drawing near to the next portion of work I have prepared, and I want you to enter it without distraction, without bondage, without being pulled back by small doors left unclosed. Let me clear the way within you and around you, so that the place where you live becomes a place of light, a place of peace, a place of covering, and a place where you hear my voice more clearly than ever. You are not foolish, and the quiet feelings you have carried for so long about your home are not things you imagined. The gentle uneasiness each time you enter a room, the soft reminder in your heart that you have tried many times to ignore, the heaviness that keeps growing, even though you cannot fully explain it, all of these are ways I am awakening discernment within you. I have spoken to you many times through the lack of peace, through the weariness with no clear source, through the feeling that something in the atmosphere around you is no longer as pure as it once was. You tried to convince yourself that everything was still fine. I tried to grow accustomed to the heaviness, tried to endure instead of face it. But now I call you to rise, not in fear, but in the authority I have placed within you. My beloved child, you were not created to live in an atmosphere that quietly resists the peace I give. The place you return to for rest is not allowed to become the place that drains you. The place where you lay your head after a long day is not allowed to become ground for dark schemes to sow confusion, tension, and division. I am your protector, the shield that covers you. The loving Father who warns you before harm takes root more deeply. I see what you do not yet see. I enter where you cannot enter. I preserve you from battles you did not even know once surrounded you. But my child, I also want you to understand that you cannot continue tolerating what I have revealed does not belong to me. Your peace must be protected, and your authority must be reclaimed. So walk through your home with a calm heart and firm faith. Do not walk as one who is threatened, but as a child who knows their Father is with them. Let my word be upon your lips, not in panic, but in holy certainty, declare that everything that does not come from me must leave that place. Speak peace over every room, every corner, the entrance, the place where you rest, the place where you work, and the place where your family speaks and eats together. Call my presence back with reverence. Let your words carry not resentment, but light. It is not shouting that changes the atmosphere, but authority placed in trust, purity, and obedience. I am preparing to send a new wind into your home. I am restoring the calm that was once stolen, healing the quiet tensions, softening the places that became heavy through pressure, and re-establishing the order of peace in every space where you live. The unnamed arguments, the lingering discomfort, the worries that rise when you should be resting, all of these will no longer have the right to rule the place where I want to place my covering. But I invite you to cooperate with me. Cleanse what no longer fits. Release the objects, habits, words, and sources of influence that have made the atmosphere in your home heavy. Let purity return not only to the room, but also to the rhythm of your life. When you obey me, you will see me intervene with power and mercy. You are not fighting alone. You do not have to face what is beyond your strength by yourself. I am with you, standing on your side, going before you, and covering you from behind. Victory belongs to me, but you must step into that victory through right action. Take back your voice within your own home. Invite peace to return. Invite light to return. Invite my presence to reign in every place where your feet stand. And then you will realize that your home is not only a shelter over your head, but it can become a refuge, a place of restoration, a place where life is nourished, and a place where my love is felt clearly each day.